It sounds very fancy.
Yes.
Academic professionalism is an interesting term with many syllables.
I think it really means a code of conduct, your attitude, and how you expose yourself, not only in your academics, but also in your professional life. And this is where you actually develop that sort of professionalism to go forward.
That means being on time, having proper communication with your professors, addressing them by doctor or professor and then their last name, not by their first name, including them in any communication with your internship supervisor.
Email them in a professional manner, speak to them in a professional manner, not with any like slang or anything like that. Treat them as if you want to be treated, you know? And that is just going to kind of prepare you for any type of job you're going to get into.
I think it's just like put your best self forward. We could coin whatever phrase we want to call that, to encompass that. But it's like, be focused, be there for others if they need it, and don't lose sight of your goal.
And this is where you have the chance to really mold yourself into being that person you want other people to see. When you are punctual, it means one of the most important things that you give respect to the other to the other person's time.
Punctuality is really critical for any grad student because working on assignments with teams, it's a simulation for what's happening in real life.
It's just something that breeds responsibility. It's something that makes you look professional, especially if you're meeting like a potential employer or a client or something like that. Punctuality is key.
But I think it goes a step further than that. And that goes into, you have to be on time and you have to be prepared for class. So it's more than just time and place. It's, being mentally punctual as well.
Everything positive that's ever happened has happened because people know how to be on time. You can't get late to progress. You can't show up late to progress.
So behavior and attitude is very important. So it's all about your perspective and what you want to get out of it. So I like to remind myself when I'm not being grateful for where I'm at, that I had to earn that seat in my program, and there was a lot of people that wanted that seat, and I got it, and it's mine, and no one can take that away from me. And so just reminding myself that I'm in a position of privilege, and this is a blessing and an opportunity for me to grow is a really great way that I put my position in perspective.
I think that if you have a positive attitude, it just kind of shows on one hand confidence, and on the other hand that you're actually excited to be there.
Behavior and attitude color and control everything that you experience. Your behavior and your attitude has a direct impact on the hue with which you see everything else in the world. So you can say whatever you want about the tough things out there that you face and that you struggle with, but it's about your perceptions and the way you see those things. And if you see those things as challenges that you can attack and overcome, then you will most likely attack and overcome.
With professors specifically, it's very important that you always maintain professionalism. Email isn't for LOLs and JKs and smiley faces. It really is important that you are addressing them, especially by the professional title, and not using their first names or even just calling them by their last name, but using their title, if they're a doctor or a professor. And keeping your emails very grammatically correct and using punctuation correctly, I think really speaks to you as a student. And so when you have errors in an email, it kind of shows the time that you put into that. So if you're trying to get an important question answered, it doesn't look like it's an important question if you have a lot of errors in that communication. See people laughing or texting in class, it's really not called for, and when it happens, it is very distracting.
I guess the most distracting thing, especially on a job or a show that I've done, are people who are on their phones.
Days get long and you're exhausted and you're sitting there and you hear or these moans and groans that people use in class. It's rude, first of all.
Using laptops and stuff like that, having it be such a digital world and everyone's constantly on their phones and laptops, and I've definitely done it too, but that's kind of the most distracting in terms of learning.
So there are times when people will hold back, and I just wish that they go forward and ask what they wanted, because that could be something that I had a doubt put into, but it's always that little insecureness that I've always felt that it was a little distracting.
So plagiarism is a great way to get kicked out of a program, and you really have to be careful and really have to pay attention and make sure you're not taking credit for something that's not yours. I know it's even broader than that, so you're going to have a really great presentation that presenter gives to you, and you can't redistribute that PowerPoint. You can't use their words in something that you're writing. You can't write a paper, and you can't have a paper due and use a paper that you wrote as in your undergraduate education. I think those things are harder to remember when it comes into plagiarism, that it's not just copying and pasting something that's not yours, but it's also reusing ideas that you've had in the past.
It's wrong, don't do it. Come up with your own ideas, they're free.
So the library at Sacred Heart, we actually have a lot of our textbooks online through the library. And that's a really, really great resource to be able to, look up the answer to some sort of question that you need right there on the library's website. We also have people from the university come in and teach us about studying skills and how to take tests. And I thought that was a really, really good session that we had, because with our profession, there's a lot of other professions, as I'm sure everybody's aware. There's a licensing examination, like the testing thing doesn't go away. So I feel the university does a really good job of helping you get prepared for those tests and be able to, do the best you can on them.
I use the Writing Center for almost every single paper. I like it because you can submit it online and they usually get back to you within 24 to 48 hours. And they mark up your paper for you, so they'll tell you things that you did well on to keep doing for the future and things to work on, and they'll check, your references and your citations, and they're really, really great, and they get back to you quick. So I use that the most.
I take big advantage of the grade above us. So I was in my first year, and I actually lived with a bunch of second years. So I would ask them every question under the sun. So I would definitely say the grade above you, if it's possible, or someone who's been through that situation before. To me, that's one of your best resources.
That's a good resource is your other students that you're in the grad program with. So many of them get other jobs, and you kind of don't realize that after grad school, they may be your colleagues. They're probably going to be. They may even be someone you work for. So it's always important to kind of keep on good terms, always keep in good contact with them, because, if something comes along where they need to recommend somebody, then they think of you.
Definitely, actually the grad nights are always important. Definitely go for the grad nights. They're very interesting.
Time management is huge.
Organization is key for getting through any sort of grad school.
So I was a grad assistant, so I had 35-hour work week, which many times I surpassed that hour amount. So it was a pretty big struggle to kind of juggle, work, then classwork, then sports, social life, and then doing my laundry.
I need to prepare and mentally go, all right, so this is due then, I want to do this now. This isn't due for 3 more weeks. I'm going to pause on that while I work on this. So it's all preparation, organization.
It's so important that you get accustomed to what's going on. Get organized before the semester starts. Really have an idea of how you're going to take your notes, where you're going to store your notes. But also, it's so important to just remember that you have to take care of yourself.
I really want to say a few words to the international students who do not get scared and do not hold back. Talk to everybody, talk to different races, talk to different people, get to know their cultures. Everybody is so welcoming, especially as Sacred Heart community. We always, embrace everybody of every culture, different races, and it's very interesting to meet all these new people. It's okay, everything is going to be okay. Just stick with it. You came here to do something that you love, and it's a different environment, it's a different atmosphere, but it's a really good experience. It's an unforgettable experience.
If you know what you want already, then don't get distracted, don't lose focus, and keep pursuing that no matter what's said around you. If you don't know what you want yet, then be really serious about using your time here to discover.
Just enjoy it while it lasts, make as much of it as you can. Talk to everyone, get involved, go to all the grad nights, go to everything if you can. Just enjoy it.